And joining me now, Jim Kavanaugh, former ATF special agent in charge, and Katherine Schweit, attorney and former FBI special agent, former head of the FBI's active shooter program, the author of Stop the Killing, How to End the Mass Shooting Crisis. Katherine, the focus now is shifting to motive. This is a unique situation. It's rare that the alleged gunman would be of this kind, of mass shooting. He's in his 70s, of that community. So this is a one-off. What does this tell you?
Well, I think it's not uncommon for a shooter to shoot in their own community, but it is uncommon from an age standpoint. The average age is 35. We had an 88, 89-year-old shooter at the Holocaust Museum, and that was really one of the oldest that I dealt with. I don't think that we hardly ever have a shooter that is up in this age range, as you indicated. So that really, to me, kind of points towards personal, is a personal issue. So maybe that is the situation here. I know that we don't know the motive yet, but I see that the age is kind of indicating that maybe there's this historical, relationship issue with the community and the people in the community.
Jim, the officers who briefed on Sunday said that the gunman was carrying the semi-automatic assault pistol. It had an extended large-capacity magazine, not the long-run gun, rather, not an AR-15 style gun, but in any case, a really dangerous weapon and illegal in California.
That's right, Andrea. And what happens is a lot of these guns, these short assault-style pistols, were originally developed to be submachine guns. That was the original development of them. They come out in pistol calibers. They take, 30-round magazine. Of course, you can put a 30-round magazine in a standard handgun as well. They're not. Some of the models are not real expensively made. They're stamped steel. They proliferated years ago. They were everywhere. Everybody wanted them. They look sexy. But a lot of them are not the highest quality. The higher quality style of those kind of guns is like an Uzi, an Israeli made by Israeli industries, and like the Secret Service would carry those on the Presidential Protection Detail under their coats, easily concealed, top quality guns. But a lot of these things that float around, probably like this guy's using, is not that kind of quality, yet still very deadly. We don't know if he had a shoulder stock affixed to it, which would make it a lot more accurate. And of course, when the legislatures talk about all these laws, what they got to understand is when the assault weapons ban did come in, the manufacturers just skirted a lot of the stuff they did. The most effective part of that law was the reduction of the magazine capacity on all new weapons sold like that they were trying to regulate. Because the other things that they changed were mostly cosmetic. They didn't change the rate of fire. They didn't change the round that was fired. They didn't change the velocity it was fired. So overall, the biggest thing that was most effective, and we saw those larger magazines drying up toward the 10 years of the assault weapons ban, was the new ones only had, 10-round magazines. I think that was the most effective part of the law. But I don't think we'll get any new laws about it, for sure.
And under the federal code, Katherine, you're an attorney, this could be a hate crime, which would increase the potential penalties. Of course, in this case,
Definitely,
the suspect has died, but in any case, it does carry a lot of legal weight.
Yeah, I think anytime we're looking at a situation from for a hate crime situation, and, I think some people might say, well, this is a person from this community, the same. Hate crime is a hate crime. You can do a hate crime on your own community, right? So it's not a question of this person is Asian, and so therefore he couldn't have attacked his own family, his own somebody. A hate crime is a hate crime. So we don't have obviously a conviction here, potential, but I think that the community does need to have an answer on why it occurred, and that's what law enforcement will be looking forward to. That's what LA County Sheriff's Office, working with Monterey Police, will be looking for.
Well, Jim Kavanaugh, Katherine Schweit, as always, it's terrible we always meet under these bad circumstances, but thanks for your expertise. We appreciate it.